Hi my dear friends, hopefully all of you fine and safe. I am also be fine and safe my dear friends. Dear friends, from now I am going to concentrate just for 4 hours to cover the entire syllabus of indirect tax laws applicable for CA final December 2021 exam paper number 8 indirect tax laws in the name of IDT booster. Before commencing the IDT booster, I would like to bring to notice important conceptual approach my dear friends. Unacademy now coming out with CA final iconic program. Now it is launched with so many features. Iconic program CA final aspirants. It is a flagship program my dear friends from Unacademy learning app where we have live monitoring platform LMP which containing the following features: one-to-one live monitoring in Iconic now launched, where you have the feature like this: give your exam preparation an extra edge with our new live monitoring platform, where we have experience for professionalized learning like never before with our seasoned doubt solvers. Discuss your doubts, clarify your concepts and enhance your exam preparation with just like have a click on Unacademy app. Get your live queries solved on daily basis from top subject matter experts. Further, to have evaluated test series in CA final iconic flagship program which is also been now launched. Give your exam preparation an extra edge with our latest addition in Iconic subscription. Those who are having Plus subscription, they also can upgrade to Iconic subscription, where you have the extreme benefits like you will get printed material from the Unacademy educators and SH educators. You will get printed material from this particular Iconic program for all the subjects my dear friends. Further my dear sir, you can subscribe for Iconic where you have multiple benefits. While subscribing for CA final group 1, you can subscribe group 1, group 2 wise, or combo also you can subscribe. Use my referral code RAFI live, where you will get 10% flat discount in addition to normal discount. As a Unacademy educator, from my side you will get 10% discount my dear friends from the subscription. You can subscribe for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, depends upon your requirement and the need. Further my dear, Iconic subscription for CA final group 2 also you can subscribe. The depends upon the months which you need. Use my referral code for getting 10% flat discount RAFI LIVE Rafi live. Further my dear friends, you can subscribe for both the group combo offer CA final combo. Use RAFI LIVE to get 10% discount just like that from the existing subscription price. Further, my dear friends, where we have regular, periodical, special classes absolutely free of cost for CA final indirect taxes in Unacademy platform. My CA final indirect tax classes on daily basis freely available, my dear friends, with the best interest of our beloved students at large in the name of special classes. Watch my next special classes free of cost from our Unacademy app, learning app. New features we have here: raise a hand, voice chat, ask your doubts through screenshot, test and voice chat, test your knowledge through live quiz and polls. You can enhance, exploit your knowledge in Unacademy platform beyond the expected level of the institute. Further, my dear friends, Unacademy ask a doubt at any time from anywhere in our special class also. Ask unlimited doubts, ask doubts at any time, get high quality resolution in English and Hindi, receive exam matches for questions, obtain instant and accurate solution to questions, get assistance with your homework. Plus subscription, where you have the benefits of raise a hand, ask the doubt, screenshot you send, chatting can take place, where in plus subscription you will get soft copy of material, hard copy iconic program, a flagship program for CA final. If you use my referral code RAFI LIVE live, RAFI live, you will get 10% discount from the existing subscription. You can go for 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, depends upon your requirement. Monthly also you can pay. Combo subscription, group 1 and group 2 you can have it, where the from 3 months to 36 months you can able to choose, depends upon your requirement, my dear friends. Iconic subscription, yes, here also you have the monthly payment basis concept, and by using my referral code RAFI you will get 10% off from your existing subscription. With this, now I am entering into the topic called IDT Booster, covering entire syllabus from now, just 4 hours, the indirect tax laws. Now look here, my dear friends, if you see here in the given case, you understand supply. Start with supply, section 7 of the CGST. Supply includes, we are aware of that, section 7, section 1, class A, class B, class C. Class A talks about all form of supply of goods or services or both, such as sale, transfer, barter, exchange, license, lease, rental, disposal, for consideration in the course or furtherance of business is a supply. What is required? Consideration required. In the course or furtherance of business is required. Otherwise, section 7(1)(b), import of services. Import of services for consideration, whether or not in the course or furtherance of business. 7(1)(c), if the services or activities, transactions without consideration also be a supply if it is covered under section 7(1)(c), read with schedule 1, where we have 4 transactions under schedule 1 which is appended to the CGST Act, my dear friends. What are they? One by one as follows. Activities or transaction even without consideration is a supply, namely deemed supply. Point number 1. permanent transfer of business assets on which input tax credit has been availed. 2. Supply of goods, supply of services, or both between related parties or between distinct persons as referred under section 25 of the CGST Act. But employer provided gift to employee in a financial year not exceed rupees 50,000, not come under this category of Schedule 1. Point number 3, supply of goods by the principal to his agent, where the agent undertaken to supply the goods on behalf of the principal, or agent supply the goods to his principal, where the agent undertaken to receive the goods on behalf of the principal. Point number 4, import of services by a person or by any person from related party or from an establishment outside India in the course or furtherance of business, even without consideration, is a supply. Dear friends, we too have further here supply, called as supply of goods, supply of services. Schedule 2, where section 7, section 1, capital A of the CGST speaks, refer Schedule 2, where we have 7 transactions. What is supply of goods? What is supply of services? Explained. When you refer Schedule 2, in that first point transfer, second point land and building, third point any process or treatment, fourth point transfer of business assets, fifth point the nature is of supply of services, sixth point the works contract and restaurant services, seventh one unincorporated body or an association supply the goods to their own members, supply of goods. Like that we have 7 points. My dear friends, especially when you refer, my dear, in the given case Schedule 2, there point number 4 got recently amendment. Point number 4, what it speaks? Point number 4 speaks the transfer of business assets. There was whether or not for a consideration which is hitting our understanding. Therefore, in the Finance Act 2020, it has been omitted. Whether or not for a consideration, coolly omitted, resulting that the Schedule 2 can be viewed in the following lines. Schedule 2 can be viewed in the following lines. Schedule 2, point number 4, transfer of business assets, where amendment whether or not for consideration is omitted, resulting that what is going to happen here? See here, look and understand, my dear friends. It's so simple it is to look and understand. Transfer of business assets, permanent transfer, or is it temporary transfer? Sir, is a permanent transfer, sir? Fine. In that case, for consideration or no consideration? Sir, for consideration, sir, then it covered under 7(1)(a), supply of goods. Read with Schedule 2, supply. If it is no consideration, then test whether it is covered under Schedule 1. It covered under Schedule 1 even without consideration is a supply. If not, not a supply. Permanent transfer of business assets on which input tax kit has not been availed. Schedule 1 not covered without any consideration. Supply of goods no consideration. Input tax kit also not availed. Not covered Schedule 1. Then not a supply. Suppose transfer of businesses temporarily transferred, ownership not transferred, right to use transferred, title not transferred. In such case, my dear friends, transfer of property, business assets temporarily for consideration covered under supply of services nature 7(1)(a). Read the Schedule 2. If it is for no consideration, in that case transactions covered under Schedule 1, one should refer. If it is no, not covered Schedule 1, no consideration, not covered Schedule 1, not a supply. If it is no consideration covered under Schedule 1, such a supply of services will be treated as Schedule 1 transaction. Therefore, even without consideration is a supply of service. So, the impact of omission of this particular, whether or not for consideration, has clarity to make you understand. Further, my dear friends, when you talk about supply, we too have under this process supply excludes Schedule 3 transactions, my dear friends. Referring to you Schedule 3 transactions, there are 8 activities. Supply excludes 1. Employee provides the services to the employer in the course of employment, not a supply. 2. The services by court or tribunal, which includes Consumer Dispute Resolution Commission. If provide the services, supply excludes. Point number 3, service by our honorable members of the parliament or state legislative assemblies, panchayat or greater corporation, municipality. If they provide the services free from GST, supply excludes. Point number 4, services like the in relation to deceased person, funeral, burial, crematorium, mortuary services, including deceased person, transportation of deceased person, qualify from supply excludes. Supply excludes services in relation to deceased person, not attract the GST. Further, my dear friends, sale of land and building, which is immovable property, not a supply. Furthermore points, the what we can call actionable claims. Supply excludes actionable claims, but actionable claims other than lottery, betting, gambling. Therefore, lottery, betting, gambling will come under the category of supply of goods as defined under section 2, subsection 52, which includes actionable claims. What are they? Lottery, betting, gambling. Further, my dear friends, we have point number 7, supply of goods from a place outside India to a place outside India without entering into the taxable territory, then such a supply not attract the GST in India. Supply excludes. From supply of goods from non-taxable territory to non-taxable territory without entering into the taxable territory. Further, point number 8, in that there are A and B, there are 2 points are there, my dear friends. Supply of warehoused goods before clearing for home consumption. After the importation, before clearing for home consumption, that goods has been warehoused. During the tenure of warehouse, the goods has been sold. Supply of warehoused goods before clearing for home consumption, not a supply. Further, supply of goods before clearing for home consumption, goods imported before clearing warehousing, before clearing for home consumption, has this manner if the goods has been sold by Indian importer to somebody else before clearing the goods from the customs, is also be not a supply. Like that, we can easily identify the provisions with regard to Schedule 3. There are 8 transactions which is supply excludes, my dear friends. Further, if supply includes, here we refer, if supply includes, for example, in that case, it may be a supply, it may be a composite supply, it may be mixed supply. If it is a composite supply, its principal supply speaks the nature of supply to tax. If it is a mixed supply, the highest rate among the mixed supply, the highest rate of GST will apply in the given case, my dear friends. Further, if it is a supply or a composite supply or a mixed supply, there is a concept called as levy and collection. Section 9 of the CGST refer here. Levy on whom? Levy on supplier, forward charge. Levy on whom? On recipient is a reverse charge. So, levy and collection, we have the concept. Who will levy? Who will collect? Department will levy, department will collect. From whom? In the case of forward charge from supplier. In the case of reverse charge, from the recipient. In case of forward charge, there is a normal scheme where you have to pay normal rate of GST. Other one is composite scheme, section 10, and as well as section 10 subsection 2 capital E, to pay the GST at a far lesser rate than the normal rate. If it is reverse charge, we have section 9.3, list of recipient of goods and services liable to pay GST. 9.4, where the builder being a registered person procure the goods or services from unregistered person beyond the prescribed period. Over and above that prescribed percentage, the recipient being a builder, being a promoter, registered person liable to pay GST. If you procure the goods from unregistered person. 9.5, specified cases. There are 3 cases where e-commerce operator is liable to pay GST, section 9.5 of the CGST. Correspondingly, section 5.5 of the IGST, where we have 3 services. One is called radio taxi services. 2, the what we can call as short-term accommodation service provided by unregistered person through a particular e-commerce operator or a housekeeping service provider who is unregistered person provide these services through e-commerce operator. E-commerce operator only liable to pay GST in the given case of section 5.5, section 5.5 of the IGST or section 9.5 of the CGST Act, as the case may be. So, as a whole I covered the scope of supply here, my dear friends. Supply includes, supply excludes. If supply includes supply, composite supply, mixed supply. If it is supply, taxable supply, levy and collection, forward charge, reverse charge. Forward charge where supply liable to pay GST, their normal scheme, composition scheme. On the other hand, reverse charge, recipient liable to pay GST, there is a list of goods and services, section 9.3. I am going to take up a separate chapter for your kind consideration to view as a IDT booster here, my dear friends. So, my dear friends, presenting here furthermore points are as follows. When you talk about goods sent on sale or approval basis, which is not a supply. If I send the goods to outside India for exhibition, is it supply? Not a supply, provided the goods sent for exhibition outside India should return back, should come back to me within 6 months from the date of dispatch delivery challan, from the date of delivery challan. Even if I send the goods by distinct person, namely to my establishment outside India, also will not a supply if that goods are coming back to me within 6 months from the date of delivery challan. Further, my dear friends, referring here the concept of composite supply. We already covered composite supply, mixed supply. Composite supply is nothing but section 8, principal supply taxable. Accordingly, in the case of mixed supply, we taxing at the rate of highest rate of GST. We are aware of that. Now referring to you section 10, composition levy scheme. Under the composition levy scheme, my dear friends, composition levy on whom? On supplier. There are broadly 2 categories. One, section 10 subsection 1, which speaks that where a trader, a manufacturer or a particular service provider being a restaurant service provider. On the other hand, broadly one more category, section 10 subsection 2 capital A, service provider other than restaurant service provider. If that is the case, my dear friends, in the given case presenting here, first and foremost, look here, just look and understand. Composition levy scheme, supplier is a trader, manufacturer, restaurant fellow, yes sir. If that is the case, the supplier being a trader, manufacturer or a restaurant fellow should not supply non-taxable supply of goods or services, should not supply interstate outward supply of goods or services, should not supply the goods or services through e-commerce operator, and ensure that such a trader, such a manufacturer, such a restaurant fellow whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year should not exceed 1 crore 50 lakh, namely 150 lakhs. In the few states, in the case of Arunachal Pradesh, Manipur, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Sikkim, Tripura, Uttarakhand is considered, the aggregate turnover of such a trader, such a manufacturer, such a restaurant fellow should not exceed 75 lakhs. At the same time, ensure that your aggregate turnover where the service element is involved other than restaurant services, that service element should not exceed 10% of the total aggregate turnover or rupees 5 lakh, whichever is higher, that is the maximum amount permissible to carry out these services, having status of composition scheme as a trader, as a manufacturer, as a restaurant fellow. Dear friends, if you are a service provider other than restaurant fellow, in that case ensure that your previous year aggregate turnover should not exceed 50 lakhs. In the current year, you have the option to choose composition scheme under section 10, section 2, capital A of the CGST, where such a service provider should not be dealt with non-taxable supply of goods or services, should not be supply interstate outward supply of goods or services. Such a service provider should not be provide these services through e-commerce operator. Such a service provider should ensure that his aggregate turnover should not exceed 50 lakhs. Having these parameters, if satisfied, then in that case such a persons are competent to pay a far lesser rate of GST than that of normal rate. If you are a manufacturer, my dear friends, if you are a manufacturer whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year does not exceed 1 crore 50 lakhs or does not exceed 75 lakhs, as the case may be, in the current year such a manufacturer liable to pay the GST just at the rate of 0.5% CGST, 0.5% GST on the total turnover, which includes taxable supply as well as exempted supply, but does not include interest earned on deposit, loans and advances. Similar way, for a trader whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year does not exceed 1 crore 50 lakhs, or being a composition scheme levy assessee, where a trader whose aggregate turnover in the previous year not exceed 150 lakhs are also be called as 1 crore 50 lakhs. In that case, such a trader in the current year has the option to choose composition scheme. If so, for a trader is considered, he is liable to pay GST 0.5% CGST, 0.5% GST only on taxable turnover. Only on taxable turnover. For a trader, the facility has been granted, my dear friends. For a restaurant whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year does not exceed 1 crore 50 lakh, or for few states does not exceed 75 lakhs. If there is a case, in the current year a restaurant fellow is liable to pay GST 2.5%, CGST 2.5%, HGST only on taxable as well as exempted turnover, but the exempted turnover does not include interest earned on deposit, loans and advances. Got the clarity, my dear friends? Furthermore, if you are a service provider other than restaurant service provider, in that case such a service provider whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial year does not exceed 50 lakhs, in the current year he has the option to choose composition scheme. If it is so, he is liable to pay just CGST 3%, SGST 3% on total turnover, which includes taxable as well as exempted turnover, but ensure that interest earned on deposit, loans and advances should not be included in the aggregate turnover to tax. Is it clear, my dear friends? At the same time, my dear friends, I would like to bring to your notice one important point here. If you are a registered person in the current year, from the day when you got registered, opted the composition scheme, while determining the turnover of 1.5 crore or 75 lakhs or 50 lakhs in the current year in which you incorporated, you opted the composition scheme. In that case, aggregate turnover should include from 1st of April till the date liable for registration. Whereas in that current year, if you incorporated and opted the composition scheme to pay the GST under composition scheme while computing the turnover to tax at composition rate, the turnover from 1st April till the date liable for registration should be excluded. With this, the supply includes, supply excludes, composite supply, mixed supply, composition scheme, all we covered just like that, my dear friends. Further referring to you here, exempted supply of services, exempted supply of services. We have a big list which I am presenting as a sector wise, charitable sector, government sector, like that. If you refer the charitable sector, my dear friends, in case of charitable sector, the entity registered in section 12A of the Income Tax Act providing specified charitable activities like public health by way of care or counseling of terminally ill persons, or otherwise the public awareness of preventive health family program, like that, advancement of yoga, spirituality, or the what we can call it as religion, qualify from exemption. Advancement of educational program, skill development relating to abandoned, orphan, homeless children, physically, mentally abused, traumatized persons, prisoners, or persons aged above 65 years residing in rural area, their skill development qualify from exemption. Or the preservation of watershed, the forest, wildlife qualify from exemption. Import of services by charitable entities which has been registered under section 12A for the purpose of charitable activities also qualify from exemption. And also, if the charitable institution 12AA entity or section 1023 BBA of the Income Tax Act or section 1023C subclass 5 of the Income Tax Act, where those institutions own the religious premises and the religious place meant for general public, where within the precinct of the religious place, if they let out their immobile property for commercial purposes, qualify from exemption with the slab amount. If per day per room let out less than or equal to rupees 1000, exempted. If per month rental basis less than or equal to rupees 10,000 is exempted. If it is open space, Kalyana Mandapam, or it may be a particular auditorium owned by the religious place meant for general public, is given on day basis, per day basis, less than or equal to rupees 10,000, qualify from exemption, my dear friends. Likewise, if 12A entity provide rehabilitation services, rehabilitation professional services, qualify from exemption. Or if the 12AA entity which has been provided old age home services to our residents per member per month less than or equal to rupees 25,000, qualify from exemption. Repeating, old age home services provided by 12AA entity to our residents, where per member per month less than or equal to rupees 25,000, qualify from exemption. Like that, we have exemptions in the case of charitable sector, my dear friends. We too have further government sector, very lengthy provisions are incorporated in government sector, which include central government, state government, or union territory, further local authority, governmental authority, government entity. If they are received services from somebody else to meet the objectives of Article 243G or Article 243W of the Constitution of India, services qualify from exemption. If they provide these services being a government and local authority or governmental authority to meet the objectives of Article 243W or Article 243G of the Constitution of India, qualify from exemption. At the same time, my dear friends, if the value of services where the material also be supplied like a works contract, where the material value does not exceed 25% of the total value of the contract, also qualify from exemption, provided the service should be covered under the Article 243W or Article 243G of the Constitution of India. Qualify exemption. Or otherwise, if government is a supplier, local authority supplier, provide these services. Government is a supplier, local authority supplier, provide these services not covered under Article 243G, Article 240W are taxable if not qualify exemption. What are they taxable as a forward charge? Not qualify exemption. There are 4 services. 1. Indian Postal Department provide these services in relation to speed post, express parcel post, life insurance services, agency services to a person other than the government is a forward charge, taxable, no exemption. If the government is a supplier, local authority supplier, provide the services to any person in relation to vessel or aircraft within the port or airport or outside the port or airport as the case may be, taxable, no exemption. Forward charge, supplier liable to pay, government liable to pay, local authority liable to pay if they provide these services. Point number 3, transportation of passenger services, transportation of goods services offered by government or local authority being a supplier, they are only liable to pay GST as a forward charge. And point number 4, if the government provide the commercial property on rental basis to an unregistered person, in that case, rent collected from the commercial property by government or local authority, then from whom collected? From a tenant who is the unregistered person. If so, supply, namely forward charge apply on that particular rent, supplier being a government, local authority liable to pay GST. In all other cases, other than the 4 will be fall under the reverse charge, where the recipient liable to pay GST, provided if not qualify from exemption. We have a big list of exempted services. In the case of government sector is considered, my dear friends, government sector considered, we have big exemption list. Service provided to a business entity whose turnover in the preceding financial year does not exceed the threshold limit for registration, no one liable to pay GST, or the value of consideration does not exceed ₹5,000, not liable to pay GST, or government provide these services to government or local authority, vice versa, not covered in the forward charge, qualify from exemption, not liable for GST. Assignment of rights to use natural resources prior to 1st April 2016, whose installment due today also be exempted. Allotment of spectrum license prior to 1st April 2016, whose installment due even today is also qualified from exemption. Assignment of the what we can call as the natural resources or assignment of right to an individual farmer in relation to agriculture, qualify from exemption. Merchant overtime charges qualify from exemption. Service like 1, visa, driving license, passport, birth certificate, death certificate supplied by government local authority qualify from exemption. Like that we have the list of exemption services in case of government provide these services or local authority provide these services. However, the exempted supply is supplied by government local authority, no one liable to pay GST. If the supply is not a forward charge, supply not covered under exemption, then it is reverse charge. One example, commercial rent received by the government or municipality being a local authority from a registered person is taxable. Who liable to pay GST? The recipient, namely the registered tenant under the GST, he is liable to pay GST under RCM. Because it is not a forward charge, it is not covered under the exemptions. Is a government sector. Furthermore, my dear friends, we have sports sector to qualify exemption. In the case of sports sectors, one by one I am referring here is as follows for a kind consideration as a revision, as a IDT booster to have sharp enough to think that to recurrent in the examination. Dear friends, services of recognized sports body, to recognize sports body qualify from exemption, or you being an individual as a player, umpire, referee, coach, team manager provide the services to recognized sports body qualify from exemption, or the FIFA directly or indirectly under 17 women or men as the case may be services the Football Federation of India, where we have here the FIFA under 17 women and men World Cup conducted in the recent past in India, directly indirectly any service in relation to that qualify from exemption. Further, my dear friends, we have entertainment sector where admission to museum, admission to national park, admission to museum, national park, wildlife sanctuary, admission to tiger reserve, admission to zoo, admission to the protected monument, or admission to FIFA under 17 men or women, irrespective of the admission fee, qualify from exemption. At the same time, my dear friends, admission to the following cases with the value cap of rupees 500 exempted. Value admission fees rupees 500 or less per member qualify from exemption. What are they? Admission to circus, admission to dance, admission to theatrical performance including drama and ballet, admission to recognized sporting event, admission to unrecognized sporting event, admission to the concert, admission to pageant, admission to award function, admission to planetarium qualify from exemption, my dear friends. And also we too refer this exemptions what I referred, this particular admission to circus, dance, planetarium, this and all has value cap of rupees 500 up to 500 per member per ticket qualify exemption. What are they? Repeating again, this particular value based exemption. 1. Admission to circus, admission to award function, admission to the pageant, admission to concert, admission to the music performance, admission to recognized sporting event, admission to other than recognized sporting event, admission to planetarium is considered. Fee should be less than or equal to rupees 500 per member qualify exemption. If our Indian artist, Indian classical art form of dance and music qualify exemption per performance less than or equal to rupees 1,50,000 exempted. Likewise, services offered by the 12 AA entity in relation to recreational nature or the recreational activities, training and coaching, arts and culture qualify from exemption. And also sponsorship services also qualify exemption if the sponsorship services in the recognized nature, like you know my dear friends, the by National Sports Federation or the Panchayat Yuva Krida or Khel Abhiyan scheme, like that specified nature of services, recognized nature qualify from exemption, even sponsorship services. However, sponsorship services provided by a particular person to a particular body corporate or to a partnership firm located in taxable territory which is not qualified from exemption taxable, RCM, reverse charge apply, otherwise forward charge, supply liable to pay GST if it is not qualified exemption. I will refer this again under the reverse charge chapter, my dear friends. Furthermore, referring for a kind consideration, the transportation of passenger sector. Transportation of passenger sector is considered. Transportation of passengers by air embarks or disembark from Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Manipur, Sikkim, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Tripura or Bagdogra, West Bengal is qualify from exemption by air, embarking or disembarking, or otherwise regional connectivity airport operating operators passenger transportation to regional connectivity airport under the flagship program of Government of India, UDAN, UDE, Desh Ka Aam Nagarik, where the passenger transport operator collected fees from viable gap fund to compensate his charges that is free from GST for a period of 3 years from the day 1 of commencement of operations of the regional connectivity airport under the scheme of UDAN. Also we referred, or we are referring now also, generally we used to refer in the regular classes also, sir, I am referring here also, The exemption furthermore, contract carriage, non-AC, non-tourism exempted, stage carriage other than air conditioned qualify from exemption. Furthermore, my dear friends, transportation of passengers by ordinary coach exempted, transportation of passengers by metro, by monorail, by tramway, metered cab qualify from exemption. The transportation of passengers by e-rickshaw, which includes Rapido, where the particular bike transportation, where a person can be able to come by using that app. If you call for bike, he will pick up and drop to you. We call as Rapido services also be qualified from exemption. Further, exemptions by transportation of passengers through inland waterways in a vessel through river without touching the Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean qualify from exemption. Dear friends, at the same time, if you transport the passengers in a vessel from a port in India to a port within India, coastal transportation, let us say from Cochin port to Chennai port to Vizag port to Paradip port to Mumbai port to Cochin port, as the case may be, transportation of passengers through inland waterways, we call coastal waterways, not inland waterways, coastal waterways qualify from exemption. Inland waterways obviously qualify exemption. Inland waterways through river, also called as national waterways, qualify from exemption. Transportation of passengers. Furthermore, my dear friends, transportation of passengers in all this particular category qualify from exemption. Further, however, unfortunate to say that transportation of passengers by ropeway, cable car, aerial tramway specifically not incorporated under the exemption category, therefore we are telling taxable. Further, referring here furthermore, my dear friends, the points which has merit under the exemptions. Tour and travel services, yes, our tour and travel services also will qualify exemption, where if Hajj and Umrah services purpose, Hajj Committee of India provide the service to our pilgrims in Saudi Arabia, having a bilateral agreement with the other country, or to have a darshan of Almighty Lord Shiva at Manas Sarovar, namely the Kuman Mandal Vikas Nigam Limited, Uttarakhand government undertaking offered to our pilgrims to perform their pilgrimage at Manas Sarovar, having a bilateral agreement with the other country, qualify from exemption. Or otherwise, a Indian tour operator offered the tour to a foreign nationalist in a foreign country, also qualify from exemption. Example, I am Mr. Nambiar Tour and Travel from Cochin. I offer the tour to Mr. Obama, who is the past president of USA in Dhaka, namely Bangladesh. Indian tour operator offered the tour to foreign nationalist in a foreign country, exempted in India. And also we have furthermore, my dear friends, the concepts called as the hiring and leasing services. With regard to hiring and leasing services are considered, the following are exempted, sir. Hiring and leasing services. I will come back to goods transport services. Goods transport also be qualified exemption. Hiring and leasing services, where services by way of giving on hire to a state transport undertaking a motor vehicle meant to carry more than 12 passengers, exempted, or a goods transport vehicle given on a hire basis to a goods transport agency, exempted. Further, my dear friends, the motor vehicle which has been used, motor cab used for transportation of students, faculty, staff of preschool or higher secondary school, exempted. If I given my vehicle, a motor cab, to a transporter who in turn going to be used that for supply of transportation of transportation of students, faculty, staff of the school, then my hiring charges from a cab operator also will qualify exemption, meaning thereby I given my cab to another cab person, the other cab person using that cab for transporting the students, faculty, staff of a school or preschool. In that case, my hiring service qualify from exemption. Further, hiring out of this particular local on a hire basis to a local authority, services by way of giving on hire to a local authority an electrically operated vehicle EOV is meant to carry passengers more than 12 qualify from exemption. When you talk about transportation of goods are considered also be exempted if it is transported by road, exempted like rickshaw or bullock cart, horse cart, or you carry the goods on your shoulder by human being, exempted. Other than GTA, other than courier agency is qualify exemption. Transportation of goods through national waterways, inland waterways exempted, but not through coastal waterways. If the goods are transported through coastal waterways in a vessel or by rail, the following only exempted. 1. Relief material exempted, agriculture produce exempted, newspaper meant for newspaper which includes magazines registered in the register of newspaper exempted, milk, salt, food grains which includes flour, pulses or the what we can call as food grains which includes flour, pulses, rice exempted. If you transport the organic manure exempted, if you transport by rail or vessel the what we can call agricultural produce is exempted, or if you transport by rail or vessel the relief material or the railway equipments are qualified from exemption. Further, my dear friends, if you transport the goods by road, the following only exempted. What are they? They are as follows. 1. Newspapers registered on the register of newspapers which includes magazines. 2. Relief material. 3. Organic manure. 4. Agricultural produce. Further, the defense military equipments qualify from exemption. Milk, salt, food grains which includes flour, pulses, rice exempted. Apart from that, by road, in a single vehicle, small consignment where the freight not exceed rupees 1500 per trip exempted, or to a consignee freight does not exceed 750 also qualify from exemption. Apart from that, the goods transported by GTA where the GTA is issued a consignment note is provide the services to government, local authority or governmental authority where they are registered only to pay the GST and the TDS. If so, to them the GTA provide these services also be exempted, or the GTA provide these services to unregistered individual or unregistered casual taxable person also be exempted. GTA provide these services to a specified person who is none other than body corporate or a partnership firm, whether registered, unregistered, or a particular registered under the GST person, or a particular society, or a particular corporate company or trust. To them they provide these services. GTA is called as supply of goods transport by road to a particular specified person. Here forward charge will come if the GTA opted to pay 12% GST. If the GTA not opted to pay 12% GST, 5% the recipient liable to pay GST for the supply of that particular freight by GTA to a specified person. Specific person who is going to pay the freight is the recipient, he is liable to pay GST under RCM. Furthermore, my dear friends, the banking sector services, NBFC services also we have exemption. Why I am so concentrating on exempted supply of services means, my dear sir, what is not exempted only you have to tax. You should be thorough with the exemptions, then only you can tax correctly. If you tax exempted supply and ask the client to pay the GST, that client if come to know that this type of mistakes, he won't come in his lifetime to your office. You being a practicing chartered accountant, you must be aware of that what is exempted should be excluded while computing the taxation under the GST. Therefore, I am focusing the attention on the exempted supply, where furthermore few points I would like to bring to a notice before entering into banking sector to qualify for exemption under the transportation of goods itself. Goods are transporting by air from a country outside India to India, coming to Indian customs station by air, qualify from exemption. Otherwise, transportation of goods by air from India to a place outside India, from Indian customs station to a place outside India by air, exempted. Goods transported in a vessel from India to a place outside India, from the Indian customs station to a place outside India, qualify from exemption. And furthermore, important point, my dear friends, if the goods has been transported from the Sharp Center, ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, if the goods has been transported in their rocket launchers, the particular satellite to the orbit space outside India, also be qualified from exemption from the payment of the GST. However, the goods are coming to India in a vessel where the transportation of that goods, transporter in a vessel, shipper company outside India, exporter also outside India, the goods destination to India, in that case importer liable to pay IGST on the sea freight. If the sea freight not known, CIF value on which 10% is equal to value of taxable supply, on which liable to pay IGST by the importer. Presently, the goods destination to India, importer liable to pay GST on the sea freight. If the exporter is of goods outside India as a recipient, as well as supplier of that goods, namely shipper company outside India, the goods simply destination to India, importer liable to pay IGST in India at the rate of 5%. If no sea freight, well and good. If not, on the CIF value 10% equal to value of sea freight. On that you pay 5% IGST. Further, my dear friends, we too have furthermore the banking sector services. In case of banking sector is considered, there are so many exemptions are there. Interest and short term loan, long term loan, cash credit and all exempted. Likewise, the penal interest exempted. Thereafter, discount and on bill discount is exempted. Sale or purchase of this particular foreign currency between the two foreign currencies, between two money exchangers is qualified exemption. Likewise, interest and on reverse repo, interest and on repo as the case may be exempted. Being a Reserve Bank of India, banker of the bank, if they provide these services exempted, if they received from outside India, even for asset management company, commercial purposes also be qualified from exemption. Furthermore, my dear friends, the exemptions we too have here, furthermore points we have exemptions. Like insurance sector, we have insurance sector exemptions, like the micro insurance where the sum assurance not exceed rupees 2 lakh, the premium is exempted, or Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana scheme, or the Jan Shri Bhima Yojana scheme, Aam Aadmi Bhima Yojana scheme, or otherwise micro scheme where the maximum amount assurance is not exceeding rupees 2 lakh, qualify exemption. Varishta pension scheme is exempted, premium paid to Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, Jeevan Jyoti Yojana, Vaya Vandan Yojana, qualify exemption. Likewise, Atal Pension Yojana, by giving the due respect to our beloved Prime Minister of India, past Prime Minister of India, Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, Bharata Ratna in his name, by giving the respect to our beloved leader, the Atal Pension Yojana, to that pension premium paid qualify from exemption. Like that, we have hut insurance premium, cattle insurance premium, all are in the nature of very small nature to help the below the poverty line people, therefore qualify from exemption. Furthermore, my dear friends, when you refer the agriculture sector, agriculture sector also be qualified from exemption, like cultivation, harvesting services. The commission on sale of agriculture produce is exempted, but commission on sale of rice is taxable, my dear friends, for kind consideration. Like that, we have the what we can call minor forestry product services exempted, like honey, sandal and all exempted services, or the installation of electricity line or station up to the place of farmer for cultivation qualify from exemption. The what we can call it as fumigation services in the agricultural warehouse qualify from exemption. Like that list, we have the services in relation to storage, warehousing of the agriculture nature product exempted. Furthermore, the what we can call rearing of silkworm exempted, cultivation of flower, artificial flowers, ornamental flower, not artificial flower, qualify exemption, poultry, forestry, horticulture qualify from exemption, my dear friends. Likewise, we too have artificial insemination of livestock other than the horses, qualify from exemption. Packing, labeling of the particular fruits, the vegetables, qualify from exemption. Furthermore, we have, my dear friends, here educational services, where being preschool, higher secondary school, school education, or recognized degree providing institution or vocational training institution, if they provide these services, to their students, to their staff, to their faculty, whatever may be the service, qualify exemption. Even these particular education institutions offered the services to somebody else, outsiders, in relation to examination, entrance examination fee is collected, qualify from exemption. Likewise, if you people provided to preschool, higher secondary school, one, transportation of student, faculty, staff is exempted, or the catering services, which includes midday meal scheme sponsored by the Government of India, provided to preschool or higher secondary school, is exempted, or otherwise housekeeping services, cleaning services, security services in the premises of the preschool, in the premises of the higher secondary school is exempted. Likewise, service in relation to admission to or conduct of examination by such institution, provide these services to preschool, higher secondary school, or the recognized degree providing institution, or to a particular vocational training institution, qualify from exemption. Otherwise, online subscription for journals, if taken place, only it is exempted in the hands of the recognized degree institution. Online journal provided services, including import of online journal services to recognized degree institution, qualify from exemption. Like that we have, sir, my dear friends, exemptions elaboratively. Education institutions, in that recognized degree includes IIMs, Indian Institute of Management, provided it should not be a diploma program to the executives, it should be a regular program. The admission to the IIMs through CAT, Common Entrance Test, then qualify from exemption. They are the students of the IIM. Therefore, IIM provide the service to the students, qualify from exemption. Like that, we have, my dear friends, exemptions. Furthermore, we too have here exemptions in the nature of this, what we can call NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation, affiliated institutions provide these services exempted, or otherwise the particular, what we can call here, Skill Development Entrepreneurship Park, entrepreneurship services offered by any empaneled institution to assess the assessment of the individuals under the Director General of Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, qualify exemption, or any person offer the services in relation to Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gramina Kausalya Yojana scheme, under the scheme where the training has been provided and certification at the end of the training provided from NCVT, National Council for Vocational Training, qualify from exemption. Like that, we have exemptions under the educational sector, my dear friends. We too have a healthcare sector, where healthcare sectors, the following are exempted. One, recognized system of medicine is exempted. What are they? They are allopathy, yoga, siddha, Unani, further Ayurveda, naturopathy. This and all called as allopathy is called as recognized system of medicine, qualify exemption. Laboratory services to test the human being samples also be exempted. Cord blood bank services also be exempted. A authorized medical practitioner who practicing the recognized system of medicine, qualify from exemption. Further, my dear friends, biomedical waste management service provided by the biomedical management treatment facility providing institution to clinical establishment, qualify from exemption. Likewise, rehabilitation professional services offered also be qualified from exemption. Our public convenience such as bathrooms, washroom, lavatories, funeral services offered by any person to other persons by charging charges, qualify from exemption. Got the clarity? Our government also be taken care not only the human being health but also our animals, animal pets, which includes wildlife animals also. So veterinary cleaning service also we qualify from exemption. In the nature of healthcare services, thereafter professional services, where advocate provide these services, arbitral tribunal provide these services, senior advocate provide services, exempted. When it is taxable mean only when the recipient is a business entity whose turnover in the preceding financial year exceeded the threshold limit for registration, that time only exemption granted. Furthermore, my dear friends, the advocate or arbitral tribunal including senior advocate provide these services to business entity whose aggregate turnover in the preceding financial exceeds threshold limit for registration, that time only taxable. Remaining all cases are exempted. Even taxable, business entity being a recipient liable to pay GST in the case of supply is arbitral tribunal or advocate. Advocate includes senior advocate. If they provide these services to any person exempted, when taxable, only when the business entity being a recipient whose turnover in the preceding financial year exceeded the threshold limit for registration, that time only in the current year business entity liable to pay GST under RCM. Got the clarity, my dear friends?